talk about what the principles mean to you, or what they are, or talk about it any way you'd like to?
Okay. Yeah. Sure. Well, as I see mind, it's as described by Sydney Banks, the man who first had the understanding. It's a formless spiritual intelligence that's behind everything, the source of everything. And when I'm talking about it with clients, I usually say, mind sounds kind of mystical and ephemeral, and yet we've been talking about it throughout the ages. Biologists, medical doctors call it life. They know what it looks like. They know when it's there. They know when it leaves. They don't know where it comes from or where it goes. But we all have common agreement that there is something that we call life. Physicists have called it energy, and now increasingly are pointing to it as infinity. There's something behind the energy we can observe under very complicated microscopes that is something that's never ends and never begins. It's an infinite formlessness that takes form in a lot of different ways. Religious people have called that energy God throughout the ages. Spiritual people have had lots of different names for that energy depending upon their spiritual preferences. They've called it chi, ki, mana, great spirit. And psychologists have called that energy mind. Philosophers have called that energy mind. But we're all talking about the same thing. It's the source of our experience, the source of life. Thought is the most powerful way that energy takes form. Every time we have a thought and it's born on the shores of our awareness, that energy has taken on a form. And to me, I see a little bit that thought really is the missing link between our spiritual experience, that which we can't see, and that which we experience in the physical world. Because if you think about it, we can't know anything without thought. That was profound for me to see. Wow, life really is a psychological creation, one thought at a time. And consciousness, I see very simply as our awareness, our ability to be aware of what we're thinking and to be aware of these spiritual gifts and our spiritual connection, to be aware of the world at large. And it's the combination of those three things, mind, thought, and consciousness, those three gifts, that as they come together are creating our experience of life 1 second at a time, one thought at a time. I sometimes kind of get amused about the fact that the body is this really cool, multi-sensory, device. It's a thing, it has a heart, it has liver, it has lungs, and a brain that works in a certain way. And we have to have this body to be conscious of life. We have to have thought and all of the sensory experiences that go with thought in order to have a psychological experience. So I have a thought, it dances through my limbic system, and I experience joy. I have a thought, it dances through my limbic system, and I experience sadness, and so on. We had to have that equipment to know joy. We had to have that equipment to know love. That's why we're here. That's why we're all walking around embodied, to have this beautiful experience of life. And yet, because we have this equipment and the equipment functions the way it does, we can innocently misuse the equipment by getting into thoughts that are not comedies or not romances or not beautiful, epic dramas of love and satisfaction and contentment, and instead we innocently, and it is innocent, create tragedies or big dramas. And I will be the first one to say that I have done a lot of that in my life. But when I saw that, oh wow, the body wasn't meant to be used that way. The reason we're here is to know love. I remember when Sydney Banks was doing one of the last conferences that I saw him do in his life, somebody in the audience asked him in kind of a humorous way, Sid, why are we here? what's the purpose of this all? And Sid said, there's only one purpose, and that purpose is love. That we're all here to know more about love and understanding. And so that suggests to me that one of all of our journeys is to figure out how to sort of be in this equipment that we're in, using it in a harmonious way to know love. And I know that's challenging. I know I've experienced a lot of things in my life that have been very, very challenging and painful. But I see that as part of the journey to go through those things and yet find my way back to love, find my way back to understanding. And these principles have really helped me see how to do that and how to help other people figure out how to do that.